Hey everybody, it's Louisa here, and I just wanted to share with you some pockets I'm going to be making. Now, I am making, I forgot what size this is considered. I want to say a standard traveler's notebook, but let me quickly look it up. I should have been ready, but I'm not. I just quickly turned on my recorder because I wanted to show you this part of it. So let me just show you the traveler's notebook that I am working on right now. And it's not for sale. It's going to be a gift. I'm not making these sizes to sell. This size I will not make to sell. I don't know if I'll be doing any more B6 sizes, only because they're a lot bigger and they take a lot more product to make. So I'm not going to be selling it, but I am making this for somebody. And the measurements of the inserts, they are, see, this one I bought at Tuesday morning. 8.5, hold on. Okay, so this is a traveler's notebook, and the inserts are from Michael's, I'm sorry. And the inserts measure 8.25 by 4.25. So I am trying to find the closest measurements to that, 8.25 by 4.33. So it's called standard and the original Midori traveler's notebook size. So this is more on the Midori traveler's notebook, and it's considered a standard, a regular, or a narrow. Okay, so that is the closest to those measurements that I'm finding online. Now my cover, I made it bigger than this because when I first picked this up, I knew that there's not a lot of wiggle room for a lot of extra stuff, and they had only put enough elastics for like 4 things, but if you really fill this up, there's really not going to be a lot of room. So I made mine differently. I won't be doing a tutorial on this size because there are a lot of tutorials, and I know people want to see me do it, but unless I make another one, which I don't know if I will, then maybe then I'll record myself. This is the first time I'm really doing one this big. I made 2 others in the past with fabric, and they were a flop because the fabric just did not stick to the lamination very well. So I decided to toss these, even though this one's kind of sticking, but I just decided not to do those in fabric. Only I can do the fabric for the what is it called, for the dashboards inside. That'll work fine, but as far as the cover, it does work better with just paper. So what I'm working on right now is the pockets, and every time I make a different size traveler's notebook, then I got to figure out how I'm going to do my pockets. Now I did do the shaker, and I'm using a thinner plastic thing than this. I should have used this thicker one, which is from Target, but I'm gonna leave it because I already did it. But I may or may not redo it later on. So what I'm working on now is the pockets that I want to insert, because I have one elastic left, and I also have to do a folder for this. So I kind of like to just come up with my own thing. Although I have watched plenty of tutorials, I like to figure out my own thing and, you know, make it easy for myself, and then I would show you. I had a few people ask me about my pockets for the B6. I don't know if I recorded it or not. I don't think I did, but I had done split pockets, and that's the part that I want to show you now. But for this, let me show you I use these sheet protectors from Target because they're thicker. They're nice and thick, and they're great for these pockets. But Walmart does have their own thicker ones too. They actually have, I think, 3 different kinds, and I think the mid one is the closest to this, but not exactly the same. So I really like how thick this is, and this is what I would have preferred to have used for the shaker, so I might change it, I don't know. So I cut this down to 8.5 long ways by 8.25 in height, and that's the height of my inserts. So I left 2 parts sealed. Okay, so I left the 2 sealed parts. So all I gotta do is seal here and in the middle, and then if I'm going to do my dividers, then I have to do that first. So you're gonna need to work with one at a time. You'll need something to insert in here so that you don't cut all the way through. And I had purchased a little while back from the Dollar Tree this cutting mat for the kitchen. It comes as one big, you get 2 of these, like two big mats. So I cut my mat in half so that I could just slip these in, and you can see where I have marks where I've been cutting. So this is what I like to use because it doesn't go all the way through, although, you know, if you really cut hard enough it will, because it is kind of cheap. I mean, it's the Dollar Tree. So what you're going to do is you're going to slide that into your pockets, and, you know, depending on where you're going to make your cuts, like I need to make mine this way. And I'm going to just, you know, get it in as far as I can. And then I'm going to also see where do I want my divider. So normally, I divide it by simply folding it in half and making a crease mark so I know where it's going to go. And you could do that on both sides so you can follow that mark. So I got two tick marks, right? And that would give me about, you know, 4 1/8 maybe on each side. Now consider that when they're not going to be equal after you've sealed that bottom one. You can go a little further down and then seal it and then have 2 equal parts. But, you know, if you just go by that, it's not going to be equal. So I'm actually going to slice it just a little bit lower, leaving that extra space for my this. Right now I can't even think. Yeah, I always forget, and then it comes later. So then it'll give me these little squares that are about 4 1/4 by, you know, 4 1/8 or so that you can insert things. You can do it in thirds, which I might do one set in thirds. I don't know, but let's just do the one first. And let me slide this in the length of my cut. So whatever I'm going to, I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, so now remember, this is how I did it for the B6, for all the pockets that I use in my B6. So use this technique for whatever size you want. I'm just showing you this size because that's what I'm working on now. I won't be doing tutorials for all these things for every single size that there is. I just don't have the time for that. Alright, okay, so then we need a straight tool and a blade. Okay, so we're going to follow our marks, and I'm going to go slightly under that just for, and I'm going to use that mark for my, where I'm going to seal it instead. So I'm just going to go under that. I'm trying to see where my mark is. It's right there. Okay, and then, you know, hold that tight. Now you don't want to push too hard. Again, if you got the same kind of cutting mat as I do, you just need to press enough to go through the plastic. I think I just slipped, but I think we'll be okay. Did I slip too much? Nah. Alright, so now I split it. Where's my cover for this? Because I know I will stab myself. I already burnt my freaking arm with the that little tool that I just showed you. Okay, so I split it up. And I'm going to move this now, and I'm going to keep my little cardboard back. That's where I'm going to fuse tool. See? That's where I burnt myself on my fuse tool. Alright, so now we're going to turn it. And remember what side is the opening. You want to seal that one that's above this. So this is going to stay open, and this top is going to stay open. And personally, I wish I had a longer one of these, but I think I'm going to try to put on one of my rulers these little rubber things to keep it from sliding, because this is the only one that I want to use for fusing. It doesn't slide around. I also like to use it for cutting, but it's the only one that has that rubber, so I'm going to see if I can find something that I could stick on there. Alright, so now we're going to fuse, and this time I'm following that little mark that I made. It's hard to see with all the clearness of this. And I had my fuse tool for a long time on or plugged in, so it doesn't take too much. Okay, and then we have to scoot this down because it wasn't the full length, and then just continue. Alright, so now we're going to double check and make sure it's sealed, because you can also turn these individual pockets into little individual shakers. So if you're going to do that, then you want to make sure you're sealed. Alright, so now we're going to seal this side and the middle. And there we go. And I've seen people use this middle part for using the fuse tool, but if I can't see it in there, I have a problem. So we'll fuse this side now. I think I went a little too fast in that first run, but we'll check it before getting there. Okay. Let me double check. And this is now an open pocket here, so we're just going to push against that seal and make sure it doesn't open up, and push against here. Now I have two pockets here and here. So now we're just going to fold it over, so I have another mark that I'm going to make for my middle fusing. Fold it right in half, and then open it up with the little mountain peak up. And I only say that because if you try to seal it this way, you see how these sides are up? When you try to fuse, it's going to hit those and melt where you don't want it to melt. So now we kind of flatten it out a little bit and bring the ruler back. Alright, and then fuse that. Move it up and fuse. I think they do sell rulers that have a non-slip grip on the bottom, so I might just look for something. Otherwise, I'm going to see if my husband has those little sliding or anti-sliding rubber things, the little skinny ones. Alright, so now we have these boxes and some cat here. Yeah, Miss Haley's been around here. That measure 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Let me see how the bottom is. Oh yeah, so bringing it down makes even squares. So you can put like 4 by 4 pictures in here. That would be great. And you can continue to do that. So if you're going to make more pockets, instead of sealing, what you're going to do is decide how many pockets you want. Okay, we got 4 there, and what you're going to do is either fold it this way with the opening on the outside or this way with the opening on the inside, and just score it, and then you're going to put it in your planner. Now I make several of these and they go on their own elastic, and what I'm going to do, I think, is make my folder to go around this. I don't know yet, but we'll get to that. But I usually put these on their own elastic. Okay, I just had a knock on the door and it was the mailman. So I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do like at least one of these sides for business cards. As you can see, this is my B6, and this is the one that I think if you wanted to know how to split up the pockets like so. And I did the same exact method. I had my sleeves and cut in half, so then, you know, I had sections to seal here, and this one was perfect for these business cards. And I'm going to pull out a business card just to have it for, not this one, I could do my dentist. Okay, I still prefer this size and the A6 size as far as planner traveler, but alright, so what we're gonna do here it's got to be in thirds. So I'm going to see. I'm going to do like this and try to see. Yeah, okay. I am going to seal. This is going to be a little difficult because I want to do one side in thirds and the other side not. Maybe not. Okay, so let's just figure out the thirds first. And it's going to be a little bit, mark it here for now because they have to go lower. And let me see with my card if I'm still going to fit. Yeah, so we're going to do this way. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and do one at a time here. I'm not going to fold this other side, or should I? No, I better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go like this so I can get the same side marked. And because I need a little tick mark, and I don't want to use a pen or anything because you may or may not see it later. Alright, so this is the first section. Let's cut that open carefully. This time, because I folded it lower than it should be, I'm gonna cut it right where it should be. Okay, just making sure that my everything is straight on here. And that's one. I'm not worried. If I screw up, oh well, I'll just do another one because I got plenty of these things. Alright, so that's the first one. Again, that's going to get sealed up above that. So now we're going to mark the next one down, and I'm going to bring it a little lower. Double check. Oh, there's plenty of space for these business cards. And then bring this side up, line it up, and make sure it's lined up. And just fold it there and kind of make a little mark there. And now for that one, same thing. I'm not too worried about down here. I'm just going to try to keep everything straight. I'm trying to see my marks. I think it's up there and there. It slips so easily on this because it's plastic. So you gotta be careful. Everything stays straight. Okay, I think we are. Oh, I didn't cut through. There we go. It's through now. All right. Let's see if this works. And now for some sealing. Let me get my thing out here and trying to multitask. I'm going to seal above the cut mark. I might have not gotten all my sections quite even, but it's going to have to do. I'm not too close. And we do have to cut open one side. Now this is going to be, oh no, we don't, I forgot. I forgot we're not going in this way, but that's another option. You can, instead of cutting here, just seal it. But I want to slip in cards this way instead of out this way because I fear, you know, the stuff might slip out. But that is another option to make them come out the ends, and you got less, I would think there'd be less cutting that I'm doing here, but you know, that's up to you how you want to do it. This is just one way. Okay, let's see if everything's sealed right. Got that down, that down, that down. They're not perfect measurements. This top one's a little bigger, so I would have had to move it up higher. The two on the bottom are the same size. It's just the top one, so I could have gone up a little more, but at least the business cards are gonna fit. So now we're gonna seal the side. Okay, double check. Now we're going to fold it in this way. I always like to fold it in with the openings on the inside. I don't know, but I don't know why, I just do. You can do it the other way, but for now I'm just sealing them. And again, you can make sections out of this into shakers. So if you want to have like a permanent pocket with a little shaker in there, just put your stuff in, put shaker stuff in there, and then seal it off, and you'll get a permanent shaker. Alright, let me double check that. Go this way. Okay, so now I have that. Seal this one. So remember, just adjust according to the size of planners that you're working with. So here is the square, and then here is this one, and you can put bigger stuff in there. I like space for my business cards. I don't like exact size. So, and you can put pictures and things. So now the last one that I like to do different sizes. The last one is just going to be straightforward, 2 long pockets. Okay, so it was the 8.5 by 8.25. It's sealed already because I didn't cut off the 2 sides. I'm just going to finish sealing this side and the middle. I love this fuse tool. When I first bought this, I thought, it's gonna be one of them things that I'm not gonna use, you know, like it's a cool toy, but it's gonna sit there. But as soon as I learn how to use this sucker, yeah, I've been using it. I mean, you could tell it's used. It's been loved. All right, let's see here. And I know a lot of people have problems, but I think the biggest thing is just letting it heat up as long as possible before actually using it. You know, do something, you know, turn it on and then start getting your stuff ready, and just wait, make sure, and then test it out on like a scrap plastic. The thinner the plastic, you know, the faster it's going to be, the easier it's going to seal. But you also have to remember not to, if it's too thin, you can easily, instead of seal, just cut straight through. You know, and then you have an opening again. So with the thicker stuff, you kind of have to put pressure and, you know, roll it a little slower. With something thinner, you would put less pressure and you could move it a little faster as long as it's hot enough. But I think that's the main thing, is just letting it get super hot. Okay, and I always like to check, make sure that we are sealed, and fold over. Okay, and now I have 3 different pockets for my Midori. We're going to call this one a Midori. Let me scoot everything out of here, and I'm going to insert it so you can see, and then I'm going to give you a sneak peek. It's not done, but I'll let you see what I've got so far as this Midori standard sized, common names. It's called standard, regular, narrow. Yeah, I still have to make the folder for this. I don't know which method I'm going to use. What do I got here? I want to do, I think I want to do this one. I'm just going to stick it in here. Whoever receives this can move it around. So it goes right in there. And now I have some sleeves to put photos, cards, some, you know, extra goodies. I've got things that I'm going to be throwing in. I've got my cutouts from my kit. I didn't mention it, but this kit is my digital kit from my blog shop. See, a great place to store some of the pieces that you might want to use in here. So there's that. I didn't even show you this part, but that's the kit. These are all the backgrounds that I used, so they're square, and here's the spools and everything. So it's sold on my blog in case I forget to post it down below, but that's what I'm working on. Alright everyone, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.